Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are talking about how to start and scale your business to 50K months. So if you are a service provider, you provide some sort of service, you're an expert in something, maybe a therapist, a doctor, a coach of some sort, a consultant, an agency. If you've got certifications in something, this is going to be for you. Okay. You provide some sort of service to people. Like you really want to make an impact with people and help people. So just if you can hear me, type in the chat, hello, that you're here with me, and put your name if you want me to know your name, because I can't see it automatically on here. But I'm Heather Blaze. In case you don't know me, I help service-based businesses, entrepreneurs, business owners scale their businesses, set up and scale their businesses so that they can have time and money freedom. Okay. They set up those systems. Hey, Daniel, nice to see you. And also, if you're here with me live, you can put hashtag live. And if you're here with me on the replay, you can put hashtag replay. But anyway, over the past 20 plus years, I have helped business owners succeed. And I now focus on helping service providers to start and scale their businesses to, 50K plus per month. Okay, following a system that requires them around 20 hours per week of work. Okay, I really truly believe that we start a business because we don't want that 9 to 5. We want that freedom. We want that flexibility. So it's one thing to make a lot of money, right? And then work, do, and be exhausted and not be able to enjoy that money. And then it's another thing, right, to have the time freedom to be able to enjoy it. And a lot of people try and figure out how to have both, and it's really challenging unless unless you can set up the right systems around what you're offering. So let me ask you this. Have you ever bought an online course or joined an 8 to 12 week program that didn't get you any results? And this is probably because their business model is not very effective. Okay. So, what you really need is to work with someone who has already achieved what you're dreaming of. And that person has to directly help you and guide you through that step by step process. Okay. And it needs to be very specific and tailored and customized to who you are, who you ideally want to attract, and what your overall arching vision is. Because yes, there's a similar framework in every business to get the right people finding you, calling you, and paying you. But you're different. Your knowledge is and wisdom and expertise is very different than anybody else on the planet. Who you ideally want to attract is very different than who I might want to attract or my other clients might want to attract, right? And your overall arching vision might be different. But those all still need to fit perfectly around a framework. And kind of think of it like a house, right? Every house has a framework, but every house is a little bit different, little bit of a, different layouts, different furniture, different fixtures, different designs, but they still all have to fit perfectly around that framework in order for it to actually work, right? Same with the business. Okay. There's a framework, and then those particular things about who you are and what you want to create have to fit still around that framework in order for it to succeed. And when I say succeed, I mean, having that time and money freedom, right? To do what you love to do, having that flexibility. And that's what I do with my clients. Okay. I help them remove around 90% of the busy and unproductive work and allow them to focus on the necessary elements in their business so that they can do that. Okay. So by the end of this, you will have clarity of a proven process that allows you to never have to spend another minute looking for clients, never entertain a prospect unless they are ready to pay you 3K to 10K for your particular offer, only work with those ideal clients, and only work with, for about 10 to 20 hours, not 10 to 20, I'd say 15 to 25 hours per week, regardless of how many clients you have. Okay. So first, let me show you the wrong way. Okay. This is how everyone else has been doing it. This is what people do for, all the time. I see it all the time. I get calls every day from people that tell me, even today, I reviewed one of my team's calls, and the person on the phone, she's just starting out and she still has her job. She's been having this as a side hustle and wants to now create this into a business. And she just doesn't have an idea, right, of what that takes, because she's got this like employee, what I call employee mentality, which is what we've been programmed in our society to be, right? We're all trained to be workers. Our society teaches us to be workers. It's like go to school, get good grades, get a good job, work, 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 do. And then what happens is people have a great idea or they want that flexibility. This lady wanted the flexibility to leave her stable 40-hour per week job to be able to have that freedom with her children. And she stumbled upon copywriting and she wants to be a copywriter. So she's learning how to be a copywriter, which is awesome. But that's just the doing part, right? That's just the delivery part of the business. What happens around the business, what we're going to be talking about today, is all the stuff that goes into getting those right clients, right? Her copywriting clients to find her, call her, and pay her for that service that she's going to deliver, right? But what happens is because we've been trained to be employees and workers our whole life, we think we have an idea of how we can start a business. We're like, oh, I'll just build a website and they will come. But like I explained to everybody, again, back to the house analogy, there's an order to it. You need that solid foundation. You need that framework. The roof comes last, right? And the website is the roof of the house. But a lot of people start with that without creating that foundation, without creating that framework, without doing all the necessary steps to get to that part. So it's a stable, solid, working thing, right? But when you don't know what you don't know, right, it's up in your blind spot and you have an idea, right? Everybody has an idea of how to build a house. Like, it needs that foundation, it needs that framework, it needs a roof. So technically you could, stop watching this, go down to Home Depot, get the supplies that you think you need and build a house, right? But how safe would you feel moving in there with your family? Not very safe. And that's what I kind of, give that analogy to let people know, like, there's a lot of pieces that go into creating a business so that it can succeed. And when you're thinking like, oh yeah, I'll start with this, statistics show that it can take about 3 to 5 years for about 50% of business owners to succeed. Okay. If you go Google it, that's what you'll see. 3 to 5 years. And this lady wanted to do it in 2 years. So I'm like, okay, what do you need? Like, are you going to be okay for it to take 2 years? Are you going to be okay? Like, what if it takes 3 to 5 years? Are you okay doing that? Right. Or, would you rather get it set up in 8 to 12 weeks? Like I show my clients, where it's like, we take all the guesswork out of it. I give you the blueprint, and you can just follow the steps. So in 8 to 12 weeks, you've got this fully built business that you can scale from. Right. Anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit. So, where did I leave off? I left off with, the wrong way. And then I got sidetracked. So, and then I'll talk about the right way. Okay. I'll talk about the right way to do it after we do the wrong way, and how to scale your business. So the wrong way is, okay, step 1 is to go look for clients. Okay. Step 2, do a free consultation. Step 3, sign the client and then they pay you after. And then step 4 would be to deliver your service. Okay. Now, what sounds wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with that model, right? That's how most people do it, right? So let me just show you. So you want to build a business, okay? But then you're told that in order to do that, and especially nowadays, right? All these gurus or whatever, they're telling you like post 3 times a day on Instagram, have a YouTube channel, start and build your Facebook group and your Facebook page and your Facebook everything, right? Do Facebook ads, create an ebook, learn how to run those ads, start running them, learn SEO and then start blogging ASAP, then post daily on Twitter, collab with influencers to get them going with you, go on a podcast or create your own podcast, hire a VA, learn how to do WordPress, Trello, Slack, MailChimp, Zoom, all that stuff, right? Like, the list is endless. And then you look back on your life and guess what? You just don't have time anymore, right? To do those things that spark really a lot of joy in your life. So you're also so busy marketing your business to potential clients that you don't have time anymore to work with the actual clients. How do you deliver the actual results when you're so busy trying to get those clients, right? It's bad for you because you're spreading yourself thin. It's exhausting, right? And then you can't give 100% to those on your to-do list, right? To those people, to those clients. You can't go deeper with them because there's only so many hours in the day. So again, it's also bad for your clients because they just become one more thing instead of the only, one thing that you need to give that attention to so that you can help get them those results. So that's why step 1 is really the wrong way to go for any service-based business. So step two, okay, doing a free consultation call like this. Okay, so you do one and it's disguised as a free call, but then you try to get them to hire you on that call. Okay, and this is a bad idea and it's going to hurt you and your prospects. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the right way. This is the wrong way. Okay, so people are not buying from you because they just don't have enough rapport with you. They're thinking they're getting on there with something else, and they get on there and they're just like, what is this? This is the same as all those other things. You're just trying to sell me. And they resist, right? And then you also repeat yourself over and over and over again on those calls because you just like talk to them about the same thing, and it's always the same, like, if you, especially if you've got a script, right there, it's all scripted out. I've been on these calls and it's just like, oh my gosh, like they're reading directly from a script and it has nothing to do with me right now. you know so it ends up that 95% of the time you get rejected, and that's not what we want to happen because those calls are consuming, right? It's like you got to get those right people that are ready to buy, not just people that are thinking they're going to get some free information on there, right? And it's also bad for your clients because you try to get them to hire you on this supposed free call, and then it just starts off your professional relationship with them like in distrust. Okay, so on to step three. Okay, the wrong way. The client pays you, right? Or first, the client becomes a client, and then you charge them per hour or per month, after the fact, but with a low fee. Okay, so it just makes no sense because people are paying you to get the results, right? I say this all the time. They're paying you to get the result, and they want it done quickly. They want it done as quickly as possible. They want that result as quickly as possible. They don't want it to drag on. Just think about it, like, from yourself, from your own perspective, right? You hire somebody, you want to get a result as quickly as possible, right? You don't want it to drag on and keep suffering or keep dealing with whatever you're dealing with. You want that desire for as quick as possible. So anyway, getting them to pay you by the hour only communicates that you want them to pay you based on how long it will take to fix their marriage or lose those extra pounds or whatever. And then they also don't really have a lot of vested interest in it, right? They might show up, they might not. But, you know, as a service provider, someone who's providing a service, you probably need them to do something, right? That you are asking them to do in order to get that result, right? So they might end up paying more in the long run too if the results take longer to achieve, and if they're not showing up and they don't have that vested interest, then it just drags on, and then they're like, oh, this person's no good. Like, it could lead to all kinds of things like that, right? So it's also a terrible idea to be charging a low price because, again, let's say your income goal is $50K a month, right? And you're charging $50 an hour. I mean, that means that you need to work 1,000 hours per month or 250 hours a week. Like, it's super unrealistic. It's ridiculous, right? Like, how are you ever going to get to that point if you're charging that, like, with that model, right? If you're charging those hours for dollars and charging that low rate. So it's bad for you because you won't be making much money, and it will be stressful, especially if you're handling uncommitted clients, right, who don't have that much skin in the game again, right? It's like when they've got that vested interest, they show up, they do the work, they want to get that result as quickly as possible. And it's also bad for your clients if they're not committed, okay, because they won't see the results, and they just they'll just be wasting time, wasting money. So nobody wins. All right. Now let's move on to step 4. So you begin to deliver your service in the wrong way. Okay. Let's say you get on a Zoom and you meet them one-on-one, and then you give them homework, and then you meet for another week. Again, it's the wrong way because the more clients you have, the less time you have to live your life. Right. And it's also bad for the client because you're coaching them by telling them, what to do without actually helping them to do it. So to recap, okay, the wrong way is step 1, to spend 90% of your time looking for clients without having enough time to actually work with them. And step 2, or maybe you're drained, and not showing up as your best self to work with them. Step 2, you invite them to a free call, right? Free consultation, but you end up convincing them to hire you. Step 3, the client hires you, and then you charge them by the hour and according to how long it will take for them to get the results. So if it takes longer, they pay more, right? And step 4, you deliver your service, but like once they've hired you, but then you only tell them what to do and you don't actually help them to do it. Okay. Does that make sense? Let me know if you're following me. It's going to get a little bit more clear too when I tell you the better way too. So, hi, everybody. Awesome. Awesome. Good to see you all here. So, here's the better way. Okay. Let's talk about that. Instead of looking for clients, I want you to never look for them. And the reason you're overworked but still not making more money is because you probably don't have an automated client generating system. Okay. You don't have a predictable process that you can call on to get the right people finding you, calling you, and paying you. Okay. On autopilot. And yes, you can continue to do social media posts if that's what's worked for you. I mean, here I am doing it, right? I do one of these once a week, right? But remember that, but I don't do this all the time. It's like once a week, 20, 30 minutes, done. I'm not on all these millions of platforms, like I was talking about before, like everyone posting all kinds of hours a day and stuff like that. Right. And yes, I have somebody that does it for me now, but even back in the day, I've never done that because I knew a better way. Right. Anyway, remember, you don't need to be on every platform. Okay. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Threads, etc. Right. If it works on one, you can scale that one, and if it's not working on one, chances are it's not going to work on any of those other ones either, because it comes down to a messaging thing. Okay. So anyway, focus your marketing on 1 or 2 platforms, because the key is to deliver your message effectively so that the right people find and call and hire you. Okay. So you don't need to build your audience to 1 million people or whatever before you can start making money. For as long as your messaging is clear and resonates deeply with your ideal person, right? Then you're on the right track, right? If you're getting people's attention, if they're reaching out to you, then you know it's working. Okay. You also need, and the ones that are showing up are the right ones. So hold on one second. Yes, you can watch it later. There will be a replay in the Business Growth Blueprint group. We also email it out. So if you're not on our email list, then you can also catch it on there, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Heather Blaze. I think it's called Heather Blaze, my YouTube channel, and you can watch it there when it's over. So thanks for coming. So anyway, again, your message has to resonate, right? And then you also need an automated lead generating system and strategy that you can just turn on, and then clients start coming in. So that frees up so much of your time, and it allows you to focus on what your business should really be about, which is what? Serving your clients, right? So your calendar will just be filled up with talking to people who want to hire you, and people who have already hired you, let's say, or whatever, right? So like, for example, what was it, Tuesday? What's today? Thursday. So not yesterday. Was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday. No, I think it was Tuesday. I thought, oh, my calendar's free today. Actually, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the beach and watch my son in his junior guards or whatever. I'm gonna, spend the day at the beach on Tuesday. Why not? I didn't have any calls booked that particular day, which is very rare. But anyway, I get to the beach and I'm like, oh, shoot, I do have a call book. She booked the night before, right? Like, it's quick. It happens really quick. It was like 12 hours. I think I allowed 12 hours and I didn't see it. Anyway, I ended up doing the call at the beach, right? And it was great. I'm like, oh, maybe this is going to be my new office. Anyway, and we have a follow-up call because her partner wasn't there and I needed to speak with her partner. But anyway, it's like, it just happens automatically is the point, right? It's like, it frees up so much time. And because I've been doing it so long, it's like, I can just have a conversation because I know the right way, right? And I can take these calls from anywhere where I have internet connection. It doesn't matter, right? Anyway, it just frees up so much of your time, and it allows you to focus on what your business should really be about, right? So your calendar, it'll be filled up, right, with people to talk to. And 80% of the time, they're going to be the right people. There's about 20, maybe 10, 20% that still sneak in, because what I show my clients how to do is we create a valuable free offer. I call it a VFO. And what that does is it positions you as the go-to against the competition. It qualifies the right people, gets the right people calling you that you would ideally want to work with, and it repels the people that you really wouldn't ideally want to work with, all on autopilot, right? So anyway, let's go into step 2. The right way, okay, is to auto filter your leads. Okay. So the wrong way again is that you reach out to them, get on a call, and convince them to hire you. But the newer, better way is to have them reach out to you, and then you have them try and qualify themselves for them to work with you. Okay. So they have to fit your standards. They have to fit your criteria. And because you have this automated system with this predictable system that you can crank up or turn down or whatever, you get to choose. You get to choose who you want to work with when they show up, right? Like, again, we only have so much time in the day. So that's where that 15 to 20 hours or 25 hours or whatever comes in, when you've got it set up properly and you've got everything dialed in, right? Then it's like, okay, you can quickly tell who they are, if they would qualify, if it's someone you'd ideally want to work with, but then that gives them the chance to qualify themselves for you to work with them. Okay. So in step 1, you already have a lead generating system and a strategy that allows people to find you. So let's say they're on your website, right? They then watch a 45-minute presentation, let's say, okay, like a VFO, like I just talked about. So that they get a better idea of like who you are and how you help your clients, right? So this is like a pre-sales presentation that's perfectly sculpted to give the prospect a clear picture of what you do. Okay. And with this, nobody talks to you really without having watched the video first. That could be another standard, right? It's like you can get on the phone. Did you watch it? Did you watch the whole thing? Okay, well, let's just, I'm going to have you go do that. And it's really quick. You don't waste your time, right? Again, time is so precious. So you don't waste that precious time on the phone speaking to someone who is not a right fit. Okay. So right there, you've just automated positioning yourself as the go-to against the competition, weeding out those who you wouldn't want to speak with. And then the best part, you don't have to keep repeating yourself every time someone comes to check your service out, right? Because they're already set up for it by the time they get to you. Now, before they get on the call with you, they have more or less decided if they really want to hire you. Okay. They've said yes, like, I don't know, 12 times by the time they get to you. Okay. So on the call itself, there's really no high pressure sales talk because they've already been pre-sold and are telling you that they want to work with you, basically. Right. So that's your steps 1 through 3 right there. Okay. Remember though, that you want to charge a premium price because that's the right way to do it. Okay. Let me tell you how, let me just think, like, let me tell you that you'll not hit your income goals. Okay. If you're charging that low price, right? And you will not work with your ideal clients if you don't charge that premium price as well. Okay. So imagine working with 100 clients at $500 versus working with only 10 clients at $5K to hit your income goal of $50K. Okay. I mean, you can play around with those numbers. Maybe you're charging $10K and then it's only 5 clients, right? So isn't charging a higher price way better and more efficient? So imagine if you have 10 qualifying calls per week, okay, and only one person said yes to your offer. You still make 5K if your price is 5K for that week, right? So that's already a good deal, right? So you simply, will find it hard to lose even if your closing rate is bad. Like, let's say you're not very good at enrolling people or closing people, right? So as long as you have that higher ticket offer, it balances it out. Now think about if you have a great month. Okay, you charge 5K per client and 2 people sign up per week, right? That's 40K. That's 40K. If you only have 2 people sign up, let's say you talk to 10 people, 2 people sign up out of those 10, right? Maybe 8 people don't, right? 40K. So now, do you think you'd like to charge higher prices? Right? I hope that's agreed upon already, right? Because it's just like, it just makes sense. Now, it's a little more, there's a way to enroll people into an offer that's a premium offer like that though, right? Like when you agree, it's probably more challenging to get someone to pay a higher price than a lower price, right? But there's a way to do it, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it here today, right? There's a way to do it when you can, effectively communicate your value around what you're offering so that it becomes irresistible, and you communicate it in such a way where they think it's a bargain. Okay. So you may ask, like, why would anybody pay me that much? Okay. And the answer to that is simple. You have that irresistible offer that can change their life, and you promise to deliver those results since they are committed and ready to do the work. Okay. So after all, like, those who pay more have a higher commitment, again, because they've got, they've already made that initial financial investment. They're paying you ahead of time. Now they want to get their money's worth, right? They're going to show up. They're going to do what they need to do to get their money's worth, to get that result, right? You're the expert. You're guiding them. You're supporting them to get it, right? So add the fact that the value of what your offer is priceless too, then clients will eagerly pay you for their services, right? So let's say you save a marriage, okay? Or you help them land a dream job, or you get them back into perfect shape, or perfect health, right? Or you find them the love of their life. Okay. These things are priceless. Does that make sense? So, like, I have a client right now. She helps her clients with endometriosis. And before I met with her, I didn't know that 1 in 10 women suffer from this, and it's really painful. And what she does is, in 3 months, completely changes their lives. Like, her last client that she helped lost, like, I think it was 30 pounds or something like that. Her cholesterol dropped majorly. All her pain went away, her symptoms. She even is becoming more intimate with her husband now, because, imagine if you're in that much pain, like, the intimacy goes away. So that, I mean, if that continued, right, that could destroy a marriage, right? So, like, it's life changing, right? And so she's able to charge a premium for that, but she couldn't understand how to communicate the value around it effectively, in order to get people paying for it consistently, right? So she was discounting and she was doing all these things. So now she's learning her value and her worth and how to communicate that effectively so that people will gladly pay those premium prices for it, right? And she's talking about between 5K and 10K. Okay. So anyway, she's only, I think, in week 2, so we're pretty early in, but she's gonna crush it. Okay. And imagine 1 in 10 women, right? Just in the US alone, like, it's a no-brainer. She's gonna be killing it. Anyway, on to step 4, okay, which is having which is scalable, right? Having those scalable services, right? So the right way will allow you to work the same number of weekly hours, whether you have 1 client or 20 clients or 60 clients. Okay. You shouldn't have to add a lot more time onto your schedule, right? So for me, for every 10 clients, I need to add like an extra hour or 2, the way I have mine set up. Okay. So, the wrong way, right, is that you have those 20 clients, you're on Zoom with them, each one of them for 90 minutes per week or whatever. So that's taking 30 hours per week. Okay. So you see that? And the right way looks like you've got 20 clients and you only work with them for 4 hours a week in total, right? And how is this possible? You can do group sessions. Okay. So that you speak to 10 people per call for 2 hours a week, or however it works for you, right? Everybody's a little bit different, but there's always a way to scale it, like, to structure it so that a lot of things can be automated, and also, to be able to do group sessions. Now, I'll use the my client with the endometriosis again. They're talking about very private things, so she might not be able to do to cover certain things in her group calls. She may have to do some one-on-ones there. But again, when you've got that premium, right, it's easier to scale, right? So again, if she's charging, let's say she has to do one-on-one with 5 clients per week, right? That's 5 hours per week. And she's charging 10,000. She's at 50,000 for the month, right? And can take on that many clients, right? So for that many hours, okay? Again, scalable. But she could also do group calls. Like, so she could do certain things, probably answer certain questions in group, right? Whereas other things she might need to do, like, more personal one-on-one things. Okay. Anyway, it just means, right, that even if you get new clients, you can still accommodate them because you can just go ahead and add them to those existing groups type of thing. Okay. So don't worry that this will lower your value that your clients are getting. It's actually the opposite. It has the exact opposite effect. Okay. When you're doing the group coaching, because it will drastically raise the value, because they get on like 1 or 2 calls per week that are much longer maybe, and they meet peers who are on the same journey. So again, they might not feel alone, right? Like back to the endometriosis thing, like there's others that are going through the same thing. They've got similar symptoms, they're experiencing similar things. So it's actually a benefit to them to get on a group, right? Where they're not going to feel like they're the only ones and they're alone in this. They can hear and see other people are also going from it, so they can support each other. It makes them feel more normal. It makes them feel like, oh, I'm not alone, right? Like it can empower them actually, right? So, and they can learn from each other too. Like maybe someone had success in one thing that they didn't try, and then they're like, oh, maybe I'll try that, right? So it's not just from you, right? And I've got lots of examples in my group as well. And they, like for my group example, we had someone who was helping. She's an advocate for children who have learning needs. And there were 3 others in the group on the same group call who had children with learning needs that were like, I wish we had you. I wish we would have had you. And they were helping each other because they were her target audience, her ideal client, right? So she could ask them questions to get deeper answers. So then her message could resonate deeper with her ideal clients. You see how that all works? So group calls are amazing. Okay. So when you do this, congratulations. Okay. You've just effectively streamlined your systems. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, to recap, I think that's pretty clear. Is everyone following me? Does that make sense? Any questions or anything? If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments here and I'd be happy to answer them. But in a nutshell, that's it, right? Like to recap, basically, here are the 4 right steps, okay, that you need to take to start and scale your business to 50K months. Number 1, have an automated client generating system so that you never have to look for clients. Number 2, auto filter your leads by having them watch a pre-sales video that talks about who you are and how exactly you help your clients. And there's a formula to this, okay? It's not just like, this is who I am. I have a bunch of certifications and I'm amazing. That's not going to resonate. The message has to resonate deeply with them throughout that, that specifically positions you against the competition, brings in those right people, repels those other people. There's a certain way to do it that actually works. And there's another way that a lot of people do it that just repel. And it's a process. It's a process to put it all together. I'd say it's the biggest process. I see Peggy here with me. Peggy, you're a client. I think for you, it's been the biggest, from what I can gather, the biggest thing in the program for you is trying to figure out what to say and put in there, but we're working on it. Anyway, number 3 is charge a premium price. Number 4 is offer a scalable service by doing group coaching instead of one-on-one. Okay, it's super, super valuable. So if this has been helpful for you and you are ready to embark on this exciting journey so I can help you build and scale your business, then just type in the word ready and I or someone from my team will get back to you with a DM. So I hope that this has all been very helpful. And again, I am here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Unless I am sick or traveling, you can catch me on YouTube. And if you're here on YouTube and you like this, please like and subscribe so that and get notified. Press the notification bell too so that you can get notified when I'm going live. Otherwise, you can join us in the Business Growth Blueprint on Facebook. Come and join us in there. We have lots of fun, lots of high ticket service providers in there. Lots of great valuable information that's super helpful as well. So yeah, again, hopefully that was helpful. And what was it? Type in, what was the word again? Ready. Type in the word ready in the comments below, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, that is fine too. And someone from my team and I will get to you and schedule one of those calls so that we can do a deep dive into your business. We're like doctors. We can see what's going on. We'll talk about what's happening, why you're not getting the results that you want. Maybe it's to those 50K months, right? Maybe it's the time freedom. Why isn't it working for you? Why are you not getting those results? We can diagnose it, prescribe the right steps to get there, and then see if we'd be a good fit to work together, okay, or not. And we'll give that to you either way. If we're a good fit, we'll talk about that. And if not, then we can point you in the direction of someone that we might know that can get you there. Anyway, have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next week. Take